There we go. I ran across this book that I hadn't had out for a while. It's entitled An Imperfect Life by Jody Hills. And I love the main poem that's also entitled An Imperfect Life. Just like to share that with you to start. I wish for you an imperfect life and all the wonder that living can bring, the wealth that comes from knowing loss, the tears that find their way to laughter, the joy that grows after the rain, and the love felt deepest by those who have been carved by pain. I hope that you can value this imperfection, hold on to it, so it gives you such comfort that you will dare embrace the beauty of all the imperfect lives that surround you. And then you will be perfectly free to step to the beat of your own imperfect heart, and you will have truly lived. Please just let that settle in. Close your eyes and just find your breath. Give yourself a few moments to just turn inward. Check in this morning. Perhaps feel a little flicker of light in your heart. And with each breath, feel it expand out a little further, filling your chest, filling your torso, extending out through your head, your arms, and your legs. It feels like you're glowing this morning. Please bring hands to heart center. And just bow your head. So lengthen the back of your neck. Bow your head towards that shining heart of yours. May we find the beauty, the joy, the peace. Feel the grace all around us. And keeping your eyes closed, just bring your hands down. Keeping your chin tucked a little bit, long back of neck, just roll your head to the right so that your right ear is close to your right shoulder. And then roll the head back down through the center and then over to the left. And just do that one more time. Roll right through the center, back to the right. This time, just extend your left arm back and away from you a bit. You can feel a stretch all the way down that side. And then rolling back to center, bringing the left hand in, roll to the other side, extend your right arm. And coming back to center, so your chin is tucked, lengthen up tall, and open your eyes. Please stretch your arms up and bring them down to heart center. And then stretch them forward and just bring your right arm across and kind of hook elbows and stretch out shoulder. Just feel that. This is supposed to be a cooling practice today. And come back to center and switch. Hardy. Come back to center, stretch the arms up, bring your right hand to the middle, left hand to the elbow, stretch out the tricep. Make sure you have a nice long spine, and then switch. Good, stretch both hands up again and fold forward. Check in with your hips, your low back. And then coming on up, go ahead and take a child's pose. Move your blanket out of the way. And for this first part, I want you to just bring your forehead down and let your shoulders just kind of slump towards the floor so you feel rounded. Maybe your arms back. I don't know if that works for you, but and then extend your arms, bring your palms flat. Don't do much with your shoulders here. You can even allow the elbows to come down if you want. Just feel nice and long. And then go ahead and come up on fingertips and walk your hands a little bit further away from you and feel like you're lifting your armpits, like you're drawing the scapula, your wings on your back, broadening the shoulders apart though. Just feeling really connected. And then planting the hands, make your way to all fours. And just rolling through some cow cats. And just connecting with your breath as you move. And then pause and extend your right leg. And then your left arm. Feeling that. Warming up, lengthening. Bring the hand down. Bring the foot straight back. Stretch through the ball of your foot, stretch out your calf a little bit. And then bring it on in, and we'll switch left leg back, right arm out. Feeling that, feeling connection, feeling length. And then bring the hand down, stretch through the calf a little bit. And coming back to center, move your hands forward a bit. Really ground through all parts of the hands and lift on up to downward facing dog. And just walk out your dog. Have you stay for 5 more breaths. So whatever can keep you really focused on what's important, maybe your shoulders, length of your spine. And that was 5 for me. Now slowly walk your feet up to your hands and come to your first forward fold. You can bend the knees to start. And then just slowly straighten one leg and the other, just kind of walking your forward fold a bit. Just be very mindful. You can bring hands on blocks if it's too intense. And then just pause, place in the middle. If it's available to you, you can bring your hands to your ankles or your shins and outer shins and just kind of press in a little bit and resist and widen your sit bones. And then if that feels good and you want more, you can even wrap your arms around your shins if that works for you. I just kind of hug the shins in. Good. And then release and slowly roll up all the way to standing. Stretch your arms up. And exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, stretch all the way up again. Exhale, fold forward. Last time, inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. If you want to use blocks, put them by your feet. And step your right foot back to a deep lunge. Feel that for a moment. And lower the back knee. Stretch your right foot long. Hug to the midline. And just feel a nice stretch here. Really feel all four corners of the foot grounded. And then now curl the toes under. Stretch the hips back, straighten your left leg. And usually I say leave your hip above your knee. This time to stretch back even further if you can even sit on your heel a little bit for runner's lunge. Just notice if you're still straight, use the blocks if you need to. Stretch out your foot. Come forward again. Stretch the right toes long. This time stretch all the way up to Anjane Asana. Hug to the midline. And then touch down and curl the toes under. Sit back again, straighten the left leg. Fold if that feels good. You can stretch the toes long, make sure your hips are square. Drawing the left hip crease back. Good, bend back into the front knee. Lift the back knee. And step back, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Every inhale, think, this is a cooling breath. We need that today, right? And then when you've had 5 breaths, take a step forward to forward fold again. And then on your inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. And exhale, fold forward again. Step your left foot back to a deep lunge. Got the other side all open, so take a moment to just feel that. And lower your back knee. Stretch your toes long. Maybe come up, hug to the midline. Let your arms dangle for a moment. And touch back down. Curl the toes under. Stretch your hips back. Straighten the right leg. If possible, you can sit on the left heel. Ooh, my toes are tight. Maybe stretch your right toes forward. You've got everything connected. And then come forward again to that Anjane position. Stretch your toes long and stretch up Anjane Asana. And please touch down. Curl the left toes under. Slide the hips all the way back. Straighten the right leg. Support yourself as best you can. If your hips don't go all the way back and that's not comfortable for you, you just do whatever feels good to stretch out the right. You'll feel it in your hamstring, your calf, your shin. Maybe your other leg too, quad. Good. And then stretch forward. Lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. And then lower your knees and turn sideways on your mat so that your knees are still on the mat. Maybe your hands are off. And then go ahead and extend your right leg out to the side and come up to your knee. Now ask yourself, do you have your hip over your knee? And do your kneecap and your toes point the same direction? Good. Bring your right hand on your leg, stretch your left arm up, and just arc towards that outstretched leg. Good. Come back to center, stretch both arms up, and then bring them out in front of you. And just very slowly stick your butt back to your heel. You lean forward a little bit. Good. Come on back up. Right hand down to the leg again and arc. Good. Both hands up. Stretch the arms forward. Butt goes back. Maybe all the way to the heel, maybe not. Just kind of lean forward just slightly. Good. And then come on back up. Now this time, keep your left or right arm up. Bring your left hand down. Turn your toes up. And open your heart a little bit. Oh, nice long stretch. Good, and walk back to center on your hands. Bring that knee in. And we'll switch sides. Extend the left foot. Come on up to standing. Just check everything in alignment. Heels in line with sits bone. Knees in line with hip. Good. Left hand down. Right arm up. Rib cage back. And then arc. Good. Bring both hands up. And then bring them forward as you sit back. Keep that foot really grounded. Come on back up. Left arm down and arc. Good. Next inhale, both arms up. Bring them in front of you. Sit back. Lean back or butt back, but arms forward. Good. And then inhale back up. This time, right hand comes down. Toes up and open up your heart a little bit. Let all that beautiful light shine out. Not warming, cooling light. There you go. And then come on back down to center. So you're on all fours. Okay, then this is going to be a little weird. Bring your knees a bit wider and bring your feet just as wide as your knees. So just go there and just kind of let your heels come in and maybe sit back a little bit. Good. Come forward and back a few times. And then do that again. Bring the knees a little wider. Make sure the feet are straight back. Your toes are probably going to turn out a little bit. And then when it feels like, oh, my pelvis is going to break in half, come down to your elbows. I don't know if you guys can see this from my, turn this way so you can see better. This is called frog pose. And it's pretty intense stretch. Take a few breaths. And just very subtly now, I want you to do cow and cat. Just do that a few times, cow, cat. Last time, cow, cat. Good, and then come up on your hands and step your knees back together to all fours. And go ahead and turn back towards the front, crawl back, and bring your hands on your blocks. And step your right foot to the outside of the right block. And turn the toes out slightly. And feel like your knees and your knee and your toes point the same direction. So that's why I want it turned out. And then very mindfully keeping grounded on the outside of your foot. I don't know if you can see. I'm just gonna widen my knee and come up on the little toe side of my foot just to broaden it a little bit. Your spine stays nice and long, straight ahead. And then come on back up. Step that foot back and switch. Left foot up, forward. Knees and toes point the same direction. Be about widening, lifting the inner edge of your foot, coming to the little toe side. Keeping really strong through all parts of the foot, but just kind of stretching that inner thigh. Good, and then come on back. And come to a downward facing dog on the blocks. Good. Extend the right leg and step it through to a deep lunge. Lower the back knee and twist open to a little twist here. Right hand up, maybe even back a little bit. Right hip crease stays back. Opening the side body, and then please touch down. Lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. We need more people live here because she is bugging Connie. Extend the left leg, step it through, deep lunge. Lower the back knee. Sweep the left arm up and open for a little twist. And touch down. Lift the back knee. Step forward, please. Uttanasana. And sweep all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's keep going. So inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. Hands to the blocks. Pranam. And fold. Step your right foot back to deep lunge. Widen the blocks slightly. And you're just going to wiggle. So heel, toe, wiggle your left foot towards the right block. And you might have to move your left hand forward so that you can broaden the knee. Lower the back knee. So this is kind of a pigeon prep, but you're not going all the way. You're being really mindful. You're on the little toe side of the front foot. And you're just kind of working it, maybe lower to your elbows. I don't know. You're not going all the way down. You're just kind of feeling it out. Two more breaths. Your foot doesn't sinkle at all. Come back up onto your hands. Wiggle the foot back towards the left block. Hug to the midline. Stretch up to Anjane Asana. And touch the blocks. Please lift the back knee this time. Keep the right hand on the block. Sweep the left arm up and over to twist again. Feel it in the hip. Feel it in the core. Good, and touch down. Good, step back, downward facing dog. Extend the right leg and step it through deep lunge. I don't know about you, but I feel like I need to even this out. Wiggle the foot, heel toe over towards the left block. Lower the back knee. Inner edge of the foot comes up and just kind of open. I want to keep the curve. I'm not rounding. Keep the curve in the low back. Just opening the knee, feeling supported by the blocks. Not sickling the foot. And if you want to lower to your elbows, you can. Ooh, this side feels way tighter. Breathing into the right hip. Good. Coming back up on your hands. Wiggling that foot back over towards the right block. Stretch up Anjane Asana. Hug to the midline, hips stay square, rib cage back. Broaden the clavicles. Feels really good. Good. Now touch down. Lift the back knee. Sweep the right arm up to come into that twist. Right hip crease stays back. And on the exhale, touch down. Move the blocks to the side and step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come to plank. Exhale, lower to the mat. And then go ahead and stretch your arms long. Stretch your feet long. Lower your forehead to the mat so you can lengthen the back of your neck. And then long side body, head of the arm on back, rib cage back, lift head and chest, Shalabhasana. See how connected you can feel, maybe even lift the feet. One more breath and lower down. Bring the hands by your chest. Lift up to a little cobra. And lower back down. And push all the way back to a child's pose. And just stack your hands onto your forehead. And then make your way to downward facing dog. Swivel your heels to the right. Don't let your right armpit drop. And bring them up and over to the left. To your left armpit drop. And come on back to center. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, lower. And downward facing dog. And step your feet to your hands, forward fold. Now, if this is available to you, feel free to do this. So bend your knees, bring your hands under your heels on the outside of your shins, and then straighten your legs. I just have my fingers underneath. It feels really good though. Feels safe. Good. One more breath. And then remove the hands. If you want the blocks, feel free to use them, but step your right foot back to deep lunge. Ground the back foot down and come up to warrior two. If they're doing all that hip work, just see how it feels in warrior two. Good. Come into Parsvakonasana, so either elbow to knee or hand to the block or to the floor. I like to bring the arm by the ear, but only if that feels good on your shoulder and you can keep it back. And then touch down. Turn the back heel up, step back, downward, facing dog. Your choice, whether you do vinyasa or just stay in down dog, it's okay. I'm gonna do plank. Lower down through chaturanga. Cobra with an inhale. And exhale back down. You can do plank to down dog or just downward facing dog. Then the right leg, step it through to a deep lunge. Ground the back foot down. Come on up Warrior two. Again, just admire how open your hips are. Doing all that work makes it feel like, oh, wow, this is deeper than it usually is. Feel the back foot grounded. All parts of the front foot. Good. On the exhale, Parshvakonasana. Arm by the ear if that feels good. Shoulders on the back. Back foot grounded. And your next exhale, touch down. Turn the back heel up and step back. Downward facing dog. Enjoy few breaths here. You can move, you can stay still, you can just appreciate grounding through your hands. And then please lower your knees and sit your legs extended in front of you. Now, if you want to use a blanket, feel free to sit on a blanket. That's better for your hamstrings. And then draw the legs into the sockets. Had a really funny experience this weekend. We had, all the kids here came for the party. And we were all sitting in the kitchen, and Corinne's like, yeah, I noticed that I slump too much, at work and stuff. And, I need to work on my posture. And I'm like, well, how long have I been teaching yoga? I'm like, okay, just lean forward, scoot your butt back, way back in the chair, and then come back upright. And she did that, and she's like, oh, wow. That helped. It made me laugh. Bend your right knee, interlace your hands in front of the shin, and pull back and up to lengthen. Just feel that, appreciate that. The left leg's really grounded. And then doing a little twist, maybe grab the knee with your elbow, right hand behind you. Just keeping that length. Notice how your hips feel here. I want you to feel like you're straight up and down, that the only thing that's turning or twisting is really in your core. Every inhale, just notice the length. And the exhale, you can use your core strength to turn. Good, and then come on back to center. Keep everything the same. Just turn your knee out, bring the inside edge of your foot to the inside of your left thigh. Yeah. And if it feels like your knee's just hanging there, you can bring a blanket underneath. I want you to feel stable. And then just face that outstretched leg. Draw your low belly up, get your length going, and then reach across either to shin, ankle, or little toe side of the foot, and fold forward. Janu Shirshasana. Couple breaths. She whipping you. And then come on back up. Now just lift that foot up, bring the ankle across. See how it feels. And maybe lift up. So you're lifting the foot and the knee. And just see how that feels. You can support it underneath. Or if you're feeling really open at this point, you can, this foot has to stay flat. It can't sickle. You can wrap your elbow around it, both sides, and see how it feels. Maybe rock your baby. Got your nose. Try and keep that length. Good. And then we'll let go of the legs, stretch it out. Get the sits bones underneath you again, and then bend the left knee interlaced. And take a moment to pull back and up just to feel nice and strong. And then engaging that twist. Wrap the elbow, twist to your left hand behind you. Use your core muscles to engage the twist. Use your length and strength to keep your spine nice and long. And then please unwind. Keep that leg strong. Inner edge of, or the bottom of the foot comes to the inner edge of your leg. Widen the knee. Face the outstretched leg. And perhaps hold deeper. Just go slow. We'll start high. You can think, are my hips square? Right hip creases back. Nice and long in both sides of the body, even the right side. You have to keep it nice and long so your spine stays lengthened. And then fold. I like to bring the right hand off to the side just to support myself and it to keep that side body nice and long. It's a variation of Janu Shirshasana. Good, and then come on back up. Lift the foot up, bring it across. See how it feels. Get your length and strength going. And then if you want to lift into that baby cradle, you can. You can just support it like this too. Or you can wrap, whatever works for you. Try not to sickle your foot. Try not to slump too much. I already. And if you're thinking to yourself, boy, one side feels way tighter than the other, just notice it and work with where you're at. And release. Both legs long. Now just bring the feet wide. Keep yourself inner spiral. Sits bones back. Draw your low belly up. Lengthen up. And maybe you just stay here and press the heels down. Feel stretch on the inner thigh, on the hamstrings, or maybe you want more, so then you can walk forward wherever it feels good. Nice stretch for you. Hip openers are so much fun. I like to really hug the feet towards me and towards the middle. And it keeps a little baby bend, and I can increase the stretch as much as I want that way. And then please come on back up. Bend your knees and keep your feet that wide. Bring your right hand off to the side. Reach your left hand to the little toe side of your foot with your toes lifted. And just stretch out your upper back. Keep the long side body. Draw your rib cage back, but specifically your sternum. Draw that back. You'll feel a big stretch in that shoulder. Good. And then switch sides. Turn them back. Be mindful. Good. Now come up. Ground your feet down. Grab your left ankle. Bring it across so that the shin is almost parallel to the front of the mat. Now grab your other foot and stack the heel on top or maybe on the shin. And if that's too intense, just crisscross applesauce. But your shins are almost parallel to the front of the mat for Agni Stambhasana. Just grab your underneath your shin and pull up a little bit. Oh my goodness. If you want less intense, you can always draw the heels towards you a bit. It always takes a few minutes to think, oh boy, I can do this. And then please unwind back to that position with your feet wide and switch sides. So right shin parallel to the front of the mat. This foot, the bottom of the foot's parallel to the outside of your hip. And then bring the other one across. See how it feels. Pull up on the shin if that's a good stretch for you. It is for me. Feels safer and maybe not quite as intense. Notice your spine. Just work with it. If you get the knees set and the spine set, then you'll just feel it in your hip, hopefully. I like to keep this foot active too. Fire log pose, Agni Stambhasana. Always intense. I'm sure you're loving it, Susan. Good. And then unwind. Bring the soles of your feet together now. Scooch forward. I like to hold my ankles because I have bad ankles. And then it gives my forearms a chance to work with my inner thighs. But the key really is lengthening your spine, keeping the sits bones underneath you, and then using your core strength to widen the knees. That's it. More breath. and release. Good, now grab your blanket, and it's going to be a little messing around, but I think you'll like it. Roll it, so the rectangle, and roll it up. Good. Now I'm going to curl the top part under and lay it down. So you might have to mess with the length a little bit. So you're just going to sit right, not on the end, but right at the end, and then lay down and see if that's going to support you like a pillow. We'll just let your heart open, like you're supporting your neck. And then you're going to bend your knees, bring the soles of the feet together and open. And then check. Sometimes that doesn't feel good, so you might have to put a block underneath your outer thigh to support them. And I do it like at an angle so that the edge of the block isn't sticking into my thigh. And my tailbone's on the floor. The block just kind of supports me there for a little restorative Uttabata Konasana. You want these blocks. It's okay. Okay. I'm just going to leave you here for about 5 minutes, and then I'll give you. And if at any point your thighs are like, oh, I can't lay with them open anymore, just stretch your legs long. You can feel your heart lifted. I like to turn palms up. Just feels like I'm open. I just noticed that I curled the end of the blanket up a little bit too, because it feels better with a little lumbar support for me there. I want you to be comfortable. Just kind of work with what you have. If you have a bolster, that works even better for this. And you can lay on the bolster and put the blanket for your support. Like I said, feel free at any time to extend the legs if it's too much. I love that poem, An Imperfect Life. Because it makes you embrace maybe mistakes you've made, or realize that they aren't mistakes, they're just learning experiences. Also, that our bodies are not perfect either. We work with what we have. One side might feel different. We've had injuries in the past that have affected We're not perfect bodies. We just embrace with what we have and try and make them the best that we can so that we can do what we want to do. Now you can stay where you are if this feels really good. You can extend your legs long and take Shavasana on the blanket, or feel free to slide off all the props and just do regular Shavasana. It's your choice. But whatever you've decided, relax your face. Relax your shoulders. Relax your belly, your low back. Relax where your legs attached to your pelvis, all those muscles, ligaments that we've been working pretty hard in these hip openers to allow them to let go now. Relax your knees, ankles, your feet. And as you continue to relax, I just wanted to share one more poem from An Imperfect Life, Jody Hills. People are so complicated, so strange and different with all their dreams and struggles. When you look closely at all of the disguises, hopes and hows and flaws, the fast and slow music of confusion that surrounds them, causing the ballet of untimely movement, they're really quite beautiful, you know. All the possibilities that lie within, send them fumbling towards grace. With just a turn of an imperfect lip, of the touch of a warm hand, it's what keeps me going, knowing that somewhere inside of them, inside of me, are all these strange, complicated, different, and beautiful possibilities. Please begin to wiggle and move in small ways. Just taking your time. Bend your knees if you're still on the blankets. Just keep your feet flat so you can roll off that way. Come on up to seated when you're ready. Bring hands to heart center. I appreciate you guys so much. So thanks for spreading your light around today. Namaste.